Good evening everyone. It's actually evening time as I film this. It is morning for you. It is actually Monday the 10th as I film this, and it's Tuesday the 11th for you tuning in. If you are new to the channel, a big welcome. We do have lots of Tenerife videos, and I do these little news updates regularly. I am Andrew, known as the KnightStrider over here in Tenerife. Lived here for 7 years, and I do my best to try and keep you guys up to date with the restrictions, the constant changes, etc. And various other things on the channel, so do consider subscribing if you are new, and if you are returning, a big welcome back, of course. So there has been a few little changes. I did do a quick little update the other night when the news broke of level 4. When that was published, there was a few little changes that went on that I'm going to run through. Some other little bits of news to go through as well that I found a little bit interesting. But first, we have brought in a new little addition to the channel. He is able to sit and read the news all day long. He can study it a little bit better than I can, so that is his new job. He's here with me now, and this is going to be our big addition that is going to help me with these little news updates. And here he is, Rio. I am, of course, I'm joking. The dog is with me here. That was just a little bit of a joke for you. I wish he could. He sits at home, does nothing all day while I'm grafting at work. I wish he could help me with the news updates, trust me. So we're going to dive in where we always do with a COVID update. And unfortunately, there is more new cases, more deaths and more hospital admissions again, unfortunately. This is as of today, the 10th, Monday. These are the latest figures. They've reported another 2,584 new cases of coronavirus in the Canary Islands today, with most cases in Gran Canaria. In the last 24 hours, the death of 6 people have been reported, 4 in Tenerife, 2 in Gran Canaria, and most of those were between 59 and 83 years old, taking the death toll overall to 1,210 people since the pandemic began. That is the main reason we've been moved into level 4, is the hospitals are struggling. They have got quite a lot of people in there at the moment, unfortunately. Going with those new cases now, Gran Canaria 1,203, Tenerife 886, has dropped down a little bit. It's still going up, but it's not quite as big of a jump for Tenerife this time. Lanzarote 204, Fuerteventura 174, La Palma 82, La Gomera 26, and El Hierro with 9. So it's still going up, not quite slowing down as much as we'd hoped so far. But let's hopefully see a drop tomorrow maybe. These are going to be a little bit higher with just having King's Day, etc. going on. Total active cases per island. Overall, we've got 66,278 active cases on all of the Canary Islands. Tenerife has the most with 33,150. Gran Canaria 23,119. Lanzarote 4,540. Fuerteventura 3,594, La Palma 1,510, and La Gomera with 230, and El Hierro with 135. So they're still going up, which is the problem, and so are the hospital admissions, which is the main issue. The hospitals here, there is only 2 on Tenerife, and once they start to fill up, that is a big issue. The hospitals here are not equipped to cope with so many cases. So hopefully we can bring that down. The next article does tie in with that a little bit as well, and that does say that we hope to reach the peak of the 6th wave of COVID this week. So they're hoping the peak will come as of this week. The director of the Canary Islands Health Service has said today they hope to reach the peak of the new wave of coronavirus this week, hopefully capping it off, and then we'll start to come back down again. It does say here as well that the hospitals are preparing for that peak. They are preparing for a little bit of an influx before hopefully we start to go down again. So coronavirus still pretty active over here at the moment. A lot of transmissions. A lot of those transmissions are the Omicron variant as well. So something to look out for. Do look after yourselves. Wear your mask. Do your sanitizer as well. We've hopefully got to get these rates down so we can move back down the levels again. As of the levels, I'm going to mention those now again. Tenerife here in level 4. Gran Canaria, Fuerteventura, Lanzarote and La Palma all in level 3. Level 2 is La Gomera and El Hierro, and none of the islands are in level 1 at the moment. So Tenerife is in the highest restrictions here that we've got. I'm going to quickly run through exactly what level 4 means. I did get it slightly incorrect on the last video. What they did was actually, when they published in the BOC the exact rules for level 4, they had tweaked it to the previous level 4s that we'd had. So like me, many others did think it would be the same level 4 that we had previously. They did tweak it slightly, probably for the better actually. So we'll quickly run through what exactly they mean as well. So in terms of hospitality, it is 75% in outdoor spaces and 33% in indoor spaces. So in your restaurants, etc., reduced capacity there. Tourist accommodation and common areas is 50% in outdoor spaces and 33% in indoor spaces. In your cultural centres, for example, your museums, concert halls, etc., 75% in outdoor spaces and 55% in indoor spaces with COVID certificates and masks. Commercial premises and professional services, activities open to the public. Common areas of shopping centres and parks, 50% in outdoor spaces and 33% in indoor spaces, so your shops are reduced capacity as well. Places of worships, wakes, burials, etc., 50% outdoors, 33% indoors. So quite a lot of capacity reduced outdoors and indoors overall. Group sizes in level 4, it is established that groups of people in spaces for public and private use, closed or outdoor spaces, cannot exceed 6 people except cohabitants. So I did say 4 people in the restaurants, it's actually 6 per table. Food and basic necessities and retail establishments, the maximum capacity in these premises such as supermarkets is now 75%. The public transport for regular public land use, so your buses for example, maximum capacity there 75%, must wear your mask at all times as well. There is a mention here, if you're in sort of a minibus or a 9-seater van, it's reduced to 75% as well. They don't want you to use the air conditioning and they want you to have windows open and masks on. So they're the main restrictions with level 4. I did get a couple of those slightly out. I did say it was tables of 4, it's actually tables of 6 in the restaurants. And in terms of closing times, they tweaked that as well. It's actually 12 o'clock that the bars and restaurants have to be closed by here in Tenerife in level 4. Now what I will do is of course leave the link in the description for the official bulletin for you to read. If you do want to translate it, you can do as well. It is printed in Spanish, which is where a lot of the confusion comes from as well, but it is there. I will leave the official link in the description. Do read them. They do change slightly. Things can change, so they're always going to be in the description for you to have a little read. Now if you are in the Facebook group, the KnightStrider fan group, I did post on there today that I was doing a little bit of a news update and to ask all of your questions. I did pick the most interesting ones, or the ones that I thought would be of more interest to you, or the questions that I got asked a few times. So I'm going to run through some of those questions now. It could be something that you are interested in as well. Some of it was very interesting actually. So a few questions to run through and my answers to them. So Phil Gard asked, do you have to show proof of vaccine again at hotels? That is up to the hotels themselves. Do call and check or email with them. Some are asking, some aren't. That's what I've been told. So do check with the hotel that you're staying in. But if you are travelling from the UK, England, you would have to show your vaccine certificate when you get to the airport anyway. So it would be no extra harm really to show it to them at reception checking in. But yeah, I've been told some people just checked in, they didn't need to show it because they know that they've had to show it at the airport. Some of the hotels are being quite particular. The 5 stars, for example, I think are being a little bit more meticulous and are asking for that certificate. So have it with you, and if you do want definite answer, clarification, call your hotel or ask them in an email. They should be able to clarify that for you. The next question was from Claire Rolly. I hope I'm saying that right. Morning Andrew, brilliant live yesterday. I have read that Europe are changing the rules from the 1st of February with time scales of vaccinations having been administered. Might be useful to look at that it could catch people out at the airport. So I did do a little bit of research on that. I didn't know anything about that until Claire commented about that. I did do a little bit of research about it. I've got a little bit to talk about with it. I'm going to read some stuff out. Hopefully it does help you. It's talk of the time between your vaccinations after you've had it. There's going to be a limit now where you're going to be required to have a booster. So in effect, your second jab will expire, type of thing. I'm going to read out the most accurate article I could find. It's not quite been passed yet. You'll find out when I read this out. So British holiday makers hoping to take a break in the EU this month will need to be aware of a major coronavirus rule change set to come into force. With countries looking to protect their citizens, many have opted to tighten entry requirements, and a number have now introduced COVID-19 passport. That is the same as Tenerife here. That's what we're asking for. And an important change though, EU COVID certificate validity is set to update from February, with the Union putting into place stricter rules for on the travel pass. So they are tightening it up, it looks like, in February time potentially. Due to the rise in cases of Omicron variant, very much active here, across the world, the EU has moved to limit the time its COVID pass is valid for to just 9 months. Since its introduction, the COVID pass has allowed holidaymakers to show proof of their vaccine status, test results and recoveries from the virus when travelling between EU nations. Tourism across the EU has been boosted for the last few months because of free travel without the need to quarantine or testing for citizens of EU nations. Now bear in mind, obviously the UK, Britain are no longer in the EU, but as an EU country we could apply this to other EU countries and non-EU countries as well. When this 9-month period expires, a new pass will need to be obtained. With the arrival of Omicron, EU nations abandoned their uniform approach to their travel rules, with some closing their borders, banning some holidaymakers and reinstating testing requirements. The European Commission today has reacted by adapting a new rule on the validity of its COVID travel pass. This week, the Commission agreed to make the pass only valid for 9 months after travellers become fully vaccinated. So it's saying once you've had the second jab and you're fully jabbed up, you've only got 9 months to use that pass before, what they're saying is you're going to need to have a booster on there to keep travelling. Full vaccination was defined as 2 doses of the vaccine or 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson. The new rule could be blocked by member states, but officials have said there is widespread support for the validity restriction. So big talk there of potentially making a booster required to enter. As it does say there, they could be blocked. Spain might not approve it, but they could well do. It does say they've got widespread support of it. There is a lot of talk of it, that you'll need to have a booster to be able to travel. Obviously the double vaccination only lasts a certain amount of time before you need to be boosted. So do keep an eye out for that. Obviously it's not quite been passed. There's a lot of talk of it. I will leave in the description the link to that article that I've just read out, so you can have a little read of it yourself. Just something to keep an eye on, because that could be a change that comes in. You could be required to have your booster if you've not had your double vaccination. If it's older than 9 months, is what it's saying. Next question we had was Claire Sampson. Hi Andrew, you're doing great work keeping us informed. Thank you very much, Claire. I'm coming out on the 21st of this month, so just wanted a reminder again of what is needed to fly over to Tenerife right now. Has got my head all confused with it all. I'm just as confused as you, Claire. So if you're travelling over to Tenerife from England, what you will need is your double vaccination certificate. Have it on your phone and have it printed off. Then you will need to fill in the Spanish health form, the travel form. I will leave the link to that in the description. You'll need to fill that out before you travel here. You'll fill everything in, where you're staying, what your vaccination status is, etc. You'll then travel over. At the airport, they will check your vaccine certificate and also your travel form. They'll scan that in, scan your passport, stamp it now as well. With Brexit, it does get stamped. And then you're free to enjoy your holiday. You have to wear your mask out and about, have your hand sanitizer with you, obviously obey by these rules at the moment that are in force. Still have an absolutely great time. And then on return, you need to fill in your UK traveller form, which sounds very complicated. It is quite easy. It's all tick boxes. Where have you been? Are you staying where you're staying in the UK for over 14 days, etc. It's just basically like a questionnaire. You'll fill it all in. You'll need to put in on that form your booking reference for your day 2 lateral flow test. So when you book your flow test, it'll give you a confirmation number. You will need to put that confirmation number in to the UK Traveller Locator form, otherwise it won't accept, it won't process. And that is it. Again, store that on your phone. They'll send you an email with it on there, and then you just fly back home. I believe they're still not even checking them in the UK. You just go through with your passport, and then you'll just need to take your day 2 lateral flow test. Some people have found them for as cheap as £12, so very, very cheap with that. So I hope that clears it up for you, Claire. If you're travelling over, that is exactly what you need to do. The next question was Mark Beresford. Hi mate, doing a great job with updating us on the latest news. Can you tell me if the mask wearing outside is being strictly used? I did do a live stream yesterday and on Saturday, and we walked around the promenade, Las Americas. I'd say very few people were wearing the masks. We did walk right past a local policeman on a bike. He looked at us, didn't say anything. He looked at loads of other people not wearing masks and didn't say anything. So you're meant to be doing it. Is it being strictly enforced? No, but that is on your own conscience if you want to do it or not. But yeah, strictly enforced, I would say no, personally. Finally, Chris Ireland did ask, what times do the bars close in level 4? I did mention that earlier. That is 12 o'clock midnight. They have to be closed up and done, but you can still have a great time. Last night we went for a walkabout, again live. There was singers out in the doorway singing to a big patio of people down in Las Americas. There's still a lot of fun going on in the bars. They're not closed or anything, so a lot of the acts are still on, etc. All the entertainment as well, so nothing too drastic that's going to ruin your holiday or anything like that. Other little bits of news I wanted to mention here. I did pick out a few other little articles to talk about. Over in La Palma, again, recovery operations still going on. The volcano has finished, but there is a long way to go. There is warnings here not to go near the lava area because it does still have very high temperatures. There is still a few dangerous gases around, and also risk of landslides as well. So if you are going over there or you're in that area, still avoid that lava flow area. I know it's probably really cool to see, but there is a warning here just to be very careful with it. People are thankfully making their way back to their homes over there. Again, in the description will be the links if you want to donate to any of the funds over in La Palma helping out with the animals or recovery efforts. All of that information will be in the description. The next final little article was that filming of J-Lo's new movie in Gran Canaria has been stopped due to a big outbreak of COVID in the camp. They've got over 300 crew over there filming this new movie, and it has all come to a halt with COVID cases, unfortunately. Just another thing to mention. Overall, the feeling is very good, very positive. Mixed day with the weather yesterday, mixed day today. But overall, very positive. You've got people out fishing here. You can see the cruise ship behind me, which is the Azamara Journey, is the name of that, if you're interested. It's been tendering people in and out all day of Los Cristianos, that one. Lovely looking ship. Not massive, just the right sort of size. But yeah, lovely ship there that's been in. Everything is very much as normal. Even the change to level 4, I don't feel like anything has really changed in terms of people on holiday, people having fun, etc. My car hire is still extremely busy. It's not put anyone off going out, exploring or anything like that. I know a lot of the restaurants are still full. We went to the bar last night, Tenerife Beer Garden. We had a great time in there. They had already adapted the bar to the new capacity already. They've done it a day early, but I didn't really notice any difference. It was complying by the rules, but I didn't notice any difference. Everyone was in there having fun. Drinking cocktails, etc. So I wouldn't let it put you off at all. If you are coming over, have a fantastic time. You will still very much enjoy it. Let's hope the rates drop down. We should then hopefully start to drop down the levels as well. If you did enjoy the news update, please do hit the thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Drop your comments, drop your questions as well. I am going to maybe introduce some of these key questions that a lot of people are asking the same question of into the future updates. So if there's a question in the comments of this video that is a bit of a theme, a lot of people asking the same thing, I will try and answer it in the next update. So do drop your comments as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. As I said, updates every week, various different live streams, excursions, etc. So do check that out. Big thanks to Rio for doing all the research for today. Big shout out to him. I'm going to finish walking him now. We're going to have a nice bit of a sunset as that cruise ship looks like it's sailing away a little bit there. Thank you very much for watching. Stay positive, guys. Stride on. If you're coming over, have a fantastic time.